Number one, go to a place with no distractions. Like there's no phone, there's no outside people. Like shoot, go get a cabin in the mountains if you need to, but get to a place where there's no distractions. You don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have anything else to bother you except just be with yourself. That's number one. Number two is start asking yourself the hard questions. I mean, list out the different areas of your life, your family, your friend relationships, your colleagues, your business, finances, all of that stuff. And just start writing out, like, what do you want that to look like? Just start writing, like all the thoughts in your head pertaining to that area. Just start writing that stuff down. And once you start doing that, the ball will start rolling and you'll start to create more and more clarity. And then you can make the decision from there.
Welcome to the Fitness CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to helping fitness entrepreneurs launch and grow successful gyms. Here's your host, Bryce Henson.
All right, my friend, your takeaway number 2, and I love this and I have some thoughts as well, but create clarity. So Talk to me.
Yeah, man. So this kind of feeds off of or comes off of the number one thing, which is creating yourself. But this is really just creating clarity in terms of your purpose and what you want to do. So it goes back to that point number one of making the decision. And in order to make the decision, though, you have to get clear on, like, what do I want from my life? What kind of relationships do I want? Business do I want? You have to ask yourself those questions and be open to different answers, right? Like, don't let your ego come in and pride block you from answering these. Like, truly, what do you want from life? What do you want from your business, your relationships? Do you want a family? Do you want kids? Like, you need to know those things so that you can create that path for yourself. And I think where people struggle the most is because they're trying to achieve a goal that they haven't really defined yet. Like, they don't really know what they want, but they are kind of over there. That's like saying, like, I'm gonna go to a certain city, but I'm gonna just like kind of drive in that direction. I don't know like how to get there, what I'm gonna do, but I'm kind of just gonna drive in that direction and see what happens. Kind
of like my analogy, people say, like, I want to make more money. Well, What does that really mean? If I gave you 50 more cents, guess what? You make more money, but that's probably not the goal that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So you need to take a step back and actually get clear on you first.
Absolutely.
On that note, Mikey, I love this because it's also a definition of leadership, which we're both students of. And I developed this framework I call the 5 C's of leadership. Clarity is number 1. Courage is number 2. Connection is number 3. Communication is number 4. And then consistency is number 5. But really, if you uncover the foundation, it starts number 1 with clarity. You can't lead other people, but most importantly, you can't lead yourself if you're not clear. So I think just really from your lens, I want to reignite and reinforce that clarity is just so critical.
Absolutely, man. It's huge. And then once you have that clarity, once you understand those things, and I think clarity is really built in one way. And it needs to be in a place where there's no distractions. And this goes back to Wes's scenario, right? Like, he was in prison for 10 years. A couple of those years he spent in solitary confinement, which means he has no access to the outside world at all. Mm-hmm. And, according to like the way he lays things out, he found a way, but he didn't have access to anything. He had himself and his thoughts, day in and day out, night and day. Over and over. And the only thing you can do in that situation is start to question your beliefs, question your identity, think about those things, and then start to truly ask the meaningful questions of, where do I want to go? What life do I want to build? And that's what he did in prison. And he says this, the first few years he kind of spent getting into prison life and, just the day-to-day. And then he had a turning point where he realized that, like you said, he wants to get out of here a better person. When he gets out, he wants to be a better person and a different person at that. And he'll tell you this, he said he's been out for not even 5 years yet.
Yeah.
But he's been building the person he is today for the past 15 years. Mm-hmm. And that was like big for me, right? Like, he's worked on his identity that much to get to the place he is today. But we only see the last couple of years, right?
Totally. To put a bow on this number two, and you mentioned that's how Wes got clarity, but what would you recommend to the average viewer who is like, all right, cool, I got it. Like, I want to be a better leader, better role model. I need to get clear. How do I do that? Give me 1 or 2 action steps that you would recommend to someone listening right now.
Number one, go to a place with no distractions. Like, there's no phone, there's no outside people. Like, shoot, go get a cabin in the mountains if you need to, but get to a place where there's no distractions. You don't have Wi-Fi. You don't have anything else to bother you except just be with yourself. That's number one. Number two is start asking yourself the hard questions. I mean, list out the different areas of your life, your family, your friend relationships, your colleagues, your business, finances, all of that stuff. And just start writing out, like, what do you want that to look like? Just write. Just start writing, like, all the thoughts in your head pertaining to that area. Just start writing that stuff down. And once you start doing that, the ball will start rolling, and you'll start to create more and more clarity. And then you can make the decision from there.
Hey, my friend, hopefully you love that short teaser of the recent episode on the Fitness CEO podcast. To check out the full episode, it will be dropping shortly. But in the meantime, there's some other episodes around here that you need to see.